In the quaint town of Willow Brook, nestled by a sparkling river, there stood an old bakery called the Hearth's Glow. It was run by a woman named Clara, whose days were filled with the scent of flour and the warmth of an oven. Clara had inherited the bakery from her grandmother, who was known for her unparalleled bread. But times had changed, and Clara's business was struggling. Modern bakeries with flashy displays and fancy equipment had drawn away many of her customers. Despite her best efforts, Clara couldn't compete. Her bread was simple, her equipment outdated, and her funds limited. She felt defeated, wondering if her dream of running the bakery was slipping away. One chilly morning, as Clara sat in her empty bakery, a young girl named Sophie walked in. Sophie was one of her few regulars, a cheerful child with pigtails and a gap-toothed smile. "Miss Clara, can you make a loaf that looks like a flower? It's for my mom's birthday, and she loves flowers." Clara hesitated. She had never made decorative bread before. "I'll try, Sophie," she said, her voice uncertain. Sophie beamed. "You always make the best bread. I know it'll be perfect." Clara spent hours experimenting, kneading the dough carefully, shaping it petal by petal. When the bread emerged from the oven, it looked like a blooming sunflower, golden and fragrant. Sophie's delight when she picked it up sparked something in Clara. For the first time in months, she felt a flicker of joy. Encouraged by Sophie's reaction, Clara decided to try something new. Instead of competing with the modern bakeries, she would focus on crafting bread with meaning, personalized loaves inspired by her customers. She started asking them questions. Who is this bread for? What's the occasion? What do they love? Soon, each loaf became a story. For an elderly couple celebrating their anniversary, she baked a heart-shaped sourdough. For a boy who loved trains, she crafted a loaf shaped like a locomotive. For a teacher retiring after 30 years, she made bread in the shape of a book. Each loaf was infused with care, and Clara found herself smiling more and more as she worked. Word spread quickly. People began visiting the Hearth's Glow not just for bread, but for the thoughtfulness behind it. Customers came to share their stories, and Clara listened, pouring their emotions into her creations. The bakery that had once been quiet was now bustling. People laughed and chatted while waiting for their special orders. Clara added small handwritten notes with each loaf, sharing the inspiration behind the bread. The bakery became more than a business, it became a gathering place where the community came together. Clara noticed a change in herself, too. She no longer worried about what other bakeries were doing. Instead, she focused on what she loved, creating bread that made people feel seen and cared for. Her hands, once weary, moved with purpose, and her heart, once heavy, felt light. Months later, Sophie returned, her face lit with excitement. "Miss Clara, your bakery is famous now. Everyone says your bread is magical. What's your secret ingredient?" Clara knelt down to Sophie's level and smiled. "It's no secret, really. The ingredient is love. When you pour your heart into what you do, it makes all the difference." Clara's bakery became a cherished part of Willow Brook, not because of flashy decorations or fancy techniques, but because of the care and connection it offered. Her story teaches us that happiness and success don't come from trying to outdo others, but from embracing what we love and doing it with sincerity. Love and care are the true ingredients of a meaningful life.